We are talking about running for office.
Yes.
Running for office. Yeah, we're going to dance about it. I hope somebody didn't just drop off after I said that, because come back. I will make you run for office. Just kidding. Just kidding.
If it's any consolation, it was probably my dancing, not yours.
What's up, witches? All right, we'll give them like 30 more seconds for folks to hop on, and then we will just get rolling.
Nice.
I'll have you introduce yourself. Are all of you thinking about running for office? Because that would be amazing. I will remind you, everyone, that there are 6,000 state leg seats open in 2026. So it's not just the midterms that we're looking at in November.
Oh,
It's 84% of state house seats are going to be open, and we should take all of them.
and there are tens of thousands more, almost 100,000 plus local offices.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
School board, city council,
Sheriff.
sure. Coroner. They elect coroners here in Illinois.
Oh, what is that campaign like?
Yeah, that's
I successfully
right.
coronered. Okay. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Actually, let me frame us up here. So before we get started,
Yeah.
So this is part of my How to Manage Political Anxiety series. We have been talking about managing political anxiety for like a month. Every Wednesday, I send out a Substack about
Love
it.
that.
We've talked about radical acceptance, finding a therapist. Like we've talked about all of these things. And today's edition was about taking action outside of just the 101 level. So not just calling your reps, sending the postcards, doing the things people do, but like getting into your local party machine, learning how to do stand in the gear resistance, maybe getting arrested if that's cool with you or not, whatever your risk assessment is. And then the big boss is running for office. And I know people have a lot of feelings about, like, it feels like such a big obstacle, right? A mountain that you cannot climb. Because I have kids and I have a job and I have all of these things. And yes, and that's all true. So I brought in some experts to talk to you about it. So now you can introduce yourself and we will get rolling.
That's great. Hi, everybody. And thank you, Amanda, for having me. I am Kelly Dietrich. I started and run the National Democratic Training Committee. It is a very official sounding organization that is not connected to the Democratic Party. Officially, we are not part of the DNC. We are not affiliated with any state party in any direct manner, and that is intentional because our mission is to lower the barrier of entry for politics for anyone who wants to get involved. And tonight, we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is how to run for office. Right. And I'm happy to answer all the questions around what that means, why it's hard, misconceptions, all of the real truth. Right. We also are dedicated to helping people who want to work on campaigns, people who want to become local leaders like county chairs, tying back to our previous conversation. We even have resources for people who just want to volunteer. In fact, we just launched last fall How to Protest 101 course. And the idea is simply get more people involved. If you're willing to stand up and do the work in your community, you should have access to all of the resources and multiple knowledge that you need to be successful. So everything that we offer is completely free. There is no litmus test. We don't endorse specific candidates. You don't have to be this type of Democrat or that type of Democrat. You just have to be a Democrat. Everything is free. You can come to traindems.org. We'll be sharing that out a few times tonight. We have more than 120 resources that are available online, so you can take them whenever you want. We have a couple of hundred virtual events a year. There's always some sort of Zoom training going on, again, free. And we travel to all 50 states, trying to train as often as we can in person, a little difficult post-COVID, but we are just trying to be as helpful as possible to build the next wave, lower the barrier of entry, diversify the talent pipeline, and make certain we build long-term power. That's us. And tonight we're going to talk all about running for office, why I personally think you should absolutely run, and how we can help you make that decision, what you can do if you're ready to make that decision. I will also say that in today's i- in today's political reality, where I think we are all so sick of stupid, we are fed up. We're literally dealing with our anxiety, which is real. Mental health is health care. Please take care of yourself. Uh, we need to be telling other people as well when we see someone who should run. Each of you can be a recruiter in your community. And that's okay if you're in rural Arkansas or some place that is deep red. I got my start in Kansas. The truth of the matter is there are more Democrats, there are more people who share our values, who share our beliefs than Republicans want you to think. Their entire strategy, controlling algorithms, the messages that they use, fear, hate, divisiveness, they want us to believe that we are alone, that we are the minority, that there is something wrong with us, and that is simply not true. We're going to show you talk tonight about how you can run for office to do that. Real quick, I have two colleagues of mine who are watching behind the scenes, Kelly and Ada. They're going to take questions. I know, Amanda, you're monitoring the questions too. Really want this to be as interactive as possible. So please ask questions. We'll try to get to as many of them as possible. So let's dive in. Please all forgive me. This is the first time I have ever done this presentation without any slides or graphic display. So Substack is the new medium and the new test here. But why run? Who can run? Why should you run? Right? Um, People run for a lot of reasons, and being against Trump is certainly a valid one. But you also want to know why you're running. What are you for? Not just what are you against? People run around issues. They run around representation. They have a unique expertise that they feel they can bring to government, and they're passionate, right? Now, those sound like very discrete, concrete reasons for running. They're not. Everything I'm going to tell you tonight is messy, right? There is no one way to run a campaign. There is no one way to win a campaign or do it right. Anyone who tells you otherwise is full of something that, yeah, right. I'm trying to keep my dad language together, but they don't know what they're talking about. There's a million ways to win and a million ways to lose. And what matters is that you're your authentic self going out and doing the best and remembering why you're running. And that can be for your family. It could be for the greater good. It could be for yourself. We have one of our most popular online courses is So You Think You Want to Run for Office. This is it's like a 30 plus minute course that walks you through all the questions and challenges. What does it mean to run for office for you, for your family? You hear from people uh, from every level of office, from school board to Congress. You hear from winners, you hear from losers. And there are lots of questions. Everything that we ask you to do comes with very specific, tangible actions and next steps. So, in that course, it's going to ask you a ton of questions to help you think about why running might be right for you. And at the end, it can give you next steps on what to do if it is, and next steps for what to do if it isn't, because that's okay too. There are ways to stay involved. There are ways to make change, and we need you to be involved to make change that don't involve running for office. But don't fall into the imposter syndrome, and we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. I want to ask if anyone in the comments wants to share, what office are you considering running for? Are you curious about? Please don't say president.
Two school board mentioned.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you for considering school board. That is such an important role, especially with all of this ridiculousness around book bans. There is an intentional strategy on the right to indoctrinate the youth moving forward. These are the type of long-term strategies that we need to be implementing ourselves, which is, building a base of local supporters, local elected offices who can move up. Um, if you ever have questions about what you can run for, we have a tool for that. And I think Kelly, my colleague Kelly, who's also named Kelly, is going to drop it in the chat about where to run. And if you put in your address, it'll put back out all the offices that are on the ballot for you and where you might be able to be successful. Now, I know many of you may be thinking, I'm not qualified. I want to hit this directly on the head. You are. You are. I understand the anxiety and the questioning of that, but let me tell you why. First, you are way more qualified than Marjorie Taylor Greene. You are way more qualified than many of these MAGA fools who are running around professing to be some sort of expert.
If you
Right?
show up for work, you're more qualified than Mike.
Amen. Amen. Right? Now, aside from that fact, everyone has a story, everyone has perspective. What we need are people who care about their community, who are dedicated to making the world a better place. I'm not gonna tell you it's easy. It can be challenging, it can be hard, but you are more than qualified to tackle that. And NDTC, the National Democratic Training Committee, is here specifically to help you get the skills and tools to win an election, right? It can be intimidating not knowing what all that means. And look, I'm a typical sports fan, right? So I'm going to make a sports analogy. My 12-year-old daughter would roll her eyes because she hates sports, and I should make music or art analogies. It applies there too. Athletes practice 5 times more than they actually play. Candidates should be doing the same. You can't, it's not a reasonable, it's not a reasonable assumption or expectation to think that just because you announce I'm running for office, you're suddenly going to be good at it. The people that you think are good at it have been practicing. We will show you how to practice. We will show you the skills you need. Speaking publicly, it's not difficult. It just takes practice. It takes bravery. It is, yeah, I understand it can be intimidating, but we can help you get over that. We talked a little bit as well about running for the different offices that are that are up. That there are hundreds of thousands of local offices. I really appreciate that people are thinking about local. Running for a local office, you have such a much more direct impact on people. It's amazing. I don't think people totally understand how powerful local representation is. You also, because you're running local in many places, it's a smaller race, which makes it much more manageable, and you get to actually know all of your voters. Additionally, some of those offices can be part-time. So one of the challenges that we're going to talk about barriers here in a minute, but I know that time and money and all those, we're going to talk about all of those. I'm just curious, what kind of office are people more interested in? Local, state, federal? What interests you the most
We've
out there?
had someone considering running for the Pennsylvania State House, a lot of school board, and a lot of town and city council.
Oh,
So
I love it.
local, state.
That's great.
Yeah,
No presidents. That's even
no
better.
presidents.
That's even better. Amanda, if you could run for office, what would you run? Any office, if you could run for one. Yeah, yeah.
Probably governor. But
Nice.
our incoming governor is amazing. So
Yes.
I'll leave it to her.
Spanberger is incredible. Virginia's different, right? I mean, you only have 2-year terms, and like you got to have a steady supply of good
Yeah, we
candidates. It's
don't
a
do
good thing,
reelection. We don't do
right?
election, so you're one done, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, you can come back after, right? You can do
Consecutive. Yep.
yep, an encore, if you will. Um, Governor is amazing. Those chief executive positions. I have worked all over the country on races at every level. Prior to starting NDTC, I was a political consultant. I would get hired to start races for congressional, for Senate, for governor. Um, I will tell you, going back to this imposter syndrome, every one of those candidates is just a person,
Mhm.
a normal human being with flaws and strengths, with uh with families and all of the things good and bad that can come with the family, right? They have just the same questions as you do. And some of those barriers, when we talk to people, they think, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. You don't need the money, the time, the connections. That's not what's required. What you need is the will,
Mm.
right? So let's talk about there are three resources that every campaign has. They're very limited. You have time, money, and people. And how you use those three resources directly affects your chances of success. You can't get more time, right? The election is the election. Election day is not changing. At least I don't think they've been able to do that yet to their best efforts, right? People, these are volunteers, right? These are you're asking people to give their time so you can get more of that. And you can use people to get more money, the resources to run your campaign. We help with all three of these. We can help you raise money and understand what that means around fundraising. And this is my fundraising is my favorite, my bread and butter. I'm weird. I get it.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
Well,
my least favorite part, which is why I don't run for anything ever.
yeah, that's totally fair, but that's because of the perceptions around raising money, around asking money, is that there's a sense of shame
Mm,
around asking for money. And when you're running for office, there shouldn't be that shame. You're not asking people to help you with your rent because you can't find a job. What you're asking them is, I believe in a woman's rights to choose. I believe that every human has basic fundamental rights that should be respected. Join me in this cause.
mm,
Now, if someone asks, there are three ways we can participate in our democracy. We can vote, we can give our time, and we can give our money. If I live out of state, I can't vote for you. I can't give a lot of time because I'm busy, but I can give my money in support. You're asking people to be a part of a cause to help make the world a better place. And we'll show you that takes a little bit of time and practice, but we'll show you how to craft a message and get comfortable making that ask. Because when we make an ask, we think about, uh, man, if I were to ask you, like, hey, would you make a $5,000 contribution? Well, crap, my brain is usually like, first of all, I've never written a $5,000 check. I wouldn't be able to make my rent. I don't know if I'd be able to do health insurance, right? Like all the things that are wrong. But my reality is not a donor's reality. There are people out there who want to support leaders who step forward, like you, the people who are listening and watching right now. People can and will write checks if you can convince them, and we will show you how to do that. Um, you're also not alone when you run. We really want our candidates to build a kitchen cabinet around them. And that can be a handful of just trusted advisors. They don't necessarily have to have a ton of political experience themselves, but running for office can be challenging, right? You're going to be out there. It's not always going to go your way. If you get into politics because you want people to like you, everyone to like you, that you're in the wrong spot because 40+% of America is not going to agree with you, but that's okay. And the support structure you have around you can be very, very helpful. Um, I'd love to know. I know I think I'm a little off of our timing here, but for the people listening, what's your biggest fear about running? I want to make this as personalized as possible. So, what are you all scared or worried about if you were to run for office?
I'm always afraid of, like, op research, like people digging through my past and like
Right?
saying shit about my family and my friends and like
Yeah.
dragging my loved ones through the mud, that sort of thing, which is maybe self-aggrandizing because if you're running for school board, like how much dedication are they really going to put into it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, safety. Somebody said like what happened to
Yep.
Melissa Whitman.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind.
Yes. Those are all excellent concerns. And we address all of those. There are ways to make certain you are safe on the campaign. And look, a lot of that, it is an issue. We also, going back to the Oppo research on themselves, uh, every every candidate thinks like, oh, the New York Times is going to be taking a look at me, right? We have seen, and if you need examples again, please look at any MAGA. Like we were talking earlier about the leader in New Hampshire who is just not a an intelligent man. There's tons of backstory out there. People are not combing through your backstory looking for these things. You can also craft messaging and build structures so that you're prepared. None of this stuff is disqualifying, right? We have to understand that politics in 2026 is not politics of the 90s where, oh, you got a C in college? Ooh, did you smoke a joint? Oh my God, you can't run. It's all out the window. There is a new political reality. What we want and need are leaders who can step up and be proud of themselves, be bold with their ideas. They don't back down, they don't apologize. If someone disagrees with them, okay, I respect your beliefs. This is what I believe. If you're not with me, then please don't vote for me. But I will represent you and my office will be open when I win. That's what people respect, and that's the kind of messaging that we're trying to train candidates around. Amanda, I'm curious, if you built your kitchen cabinet, who would you put in there?
Um, I was gonna say my mom, but I think she would just go after people, so maybe not my mom. Um, I mean, all of my friends are very talented, so it'd probably be like my closest friends. Like I've got friends in public school teachers, librarians who are all in like public service and
Nice.
my one of my I've got relatives who are law enforcement, which would I would love to have that perspective if I was running for office because what they think about what's going on right now is always very interesting. Um, so I try to like as a rule surround myself with people who don't think exactly like I do. Like I would want it to not be yes men, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's critically important. You don't want a bunch of yes men in the room who are going to agree with whatever you say. This is a group you want to challenge you and tell you like, hey, I think you messed up here and here's how we fix it. Right? That realism is incredibly important. Um
Someone's asking about social media, like
yeah.
effective tools for campaigning. Is Instagram more important than getting on the phone and doing fundraising calls? Like, do you have to be good at social media?
N Yes and no, right? So, like I said, every answer I give tonight is going to be squishy. It depends is the answer. Uh, you don't have to be good at social media, but you should be on social media. And which social media you are on depends on your race. And what I mean by that is where are your voters, right? I personally don't think any candidate anymore, unless they're at a major federal level, really needs to be on Twitter. The only people really on Twitter are reporters and a whole bunch of Russian bots, right? Um, Instagram can be effective. You all may hate me. Uh, Facebook is still where a lot of voters, especially older voters, are. Um, there is social media isn't you can't run a campaign just on social media. You still need to pick up the phone. You still need to knock doors. The most effective means of earning a vote is still a one-on-one conversation. And so the best way to do that, you as the candidate are the most effective tool in your campaign, right? Because people see you, you're the product. If you can get volunteers to knock doors with you, well, now you've exponentially increased the number of doors that you can knock in an hour, and you have validators, people who are willing to speak on your behalf. And, Amanda, if you knock on a door and you say, I support this candidate, well, oh, okay. I have a chance to talk to you in person. Now, that is more and more challenging because fewer and fewer people open their doors. You
Yeah.
have to combine things. And all of us tonight on here, we're not normal. We think about politics way more often than the typical voter. So reaching voters is a strategy that depends on your campaign, depends on how much money you raise. I have a whole thing that we talk about that, to win an election, you need voters. To talk to voters, you need money. To get money, you have to ask people for money. So when candidates are sending those annoying texts, we send them too. It is one of the most effective ways to raise money because for very little cost, you reach a ton of people, and there are people who give. That can also translate to getting your message out and reminding people to vote and touching people that way. So there is not a one easy answer to this. You can do a lot of things. The good news is we'll help you with all of it, and that there are a lot of people who want to see other people succeed. So we're 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 very eager to help as many. I'm seeing that someone said they're a copywriter in advertising. I'm afraid people who use that to paint my personal campaign is insincere. Um, I'm just going to hit that one head on. You're overthinking it.
Mm.
They will not. They will not. Frankly, I think every campaign could use a copywriter, by the way.
Well, Johnny's got a great one.
Got a great one, right? No, you have helped people, organization, businesses, I don't know the background of the commenter, communicate their message effectively, right? So, uh you have taken care of yourself. Maybe you've taken care of your family. You have a successful career. They're not going to come after you for being a copywriter. If they do, you're winning. I'll tell you that right now because they're trying to talk about a personal thing while you're going to be on message, talking about how you're going to make the world, how you're going to make life more affordable. We're going to protect healthcare for everybody, right? Talking about things that matter to people.
I wanna touch one more before we move on.
Yeah,
You were
please.
saying that they've only ever worked, like, working class entry-level jobs and are afraid that
Great.
they wouldn't be a qualified candidate for that, but I feel very passionately that we need more working class people running for office.
Yes.
So could we could we hang a lantern?
Yes, 100%. I think we have seen what happens when not enough working class people run for office and are making decisions without that real world experience of what it means. So I think it's fantastic. Look, AOC was a bartender, right? I got through school tending bar, waiting tables myself. I think more people relate to that reality than they do about being the head of a law firm,
Mhm.
right? It is a much more relatable. I mean, I think I see that as a plus, not a minus. It's something you can really leverage as a common man who understands the everyday people and the challenges every individual and family is facing right now because prices are going up and wages are not, but there seem to be a few select billionaires making a whole lot more money than they were before, and that's not right.
Yeah, amen.
Um, all right. So we've talked about barriers. We've talked about overcoming those barriers. Let's talk about some steps that you can take to figure out if running is right for you or not. Um, I've mentioned our So You Think You Want to Run course. You can also take a look at traindems.org. We have virtual events every week. At least once or twice a month, we run a So You Think You Want to Run virtual event. It usually runs around noon Central, 1 Eastern. It's about a 45-minute virtual event. We get anywhere from 30 to 200 people, depending on the time. And it is a chance to learn more in a different environment about how to run. Let's say you decide, yes, this is for me. All right. What do you do? Right. Well, we've developed a campaign tool to help you launch that campaign. It's our Spark launch, and it is 8 easy steps to help you start a campaign at any level. School board, I see you out there, all the way up to Congress, whatever you want to run. And one of the first things that we talk through is kind addresses some of the comments we've seen here, which is what's my message? How do I convey a sense of confidence, of competence, that I'm qualified out there? And we walk through building your story of self. So let's say you're in that working class background. You've only waited tables and had blue collar jobs. That's an asset. That's a bonus. People can understand that, right? Let's say you've been a stay at home mom. That's fantastic. You know the challenges that come with raising a family. Let's say you are a recent college grad who is having trouble finding employment in today's economy. Or even you're not a college grad, you're a high school grad who's been having trouble. That's okay as well. What we want is to help you capture why your story matters and can serve as an inspiration to others, and turn it into a plus for you as to why people should vote for you. So we literally have worksheets to fill out. It's just like being back in 5th grade. It's amazing. Work, yeah, right. We have worksheets to complete to help you think of questions, think through answers to specific questions, so that when you are ready, you make the decision to run. Then there's this prep time, and before you announce it, before you make it public, get you comfortable talking about what you want to accomplish and why you're running, so that you don't have to be concerned about, like, what am I going to say? Are people going to trust me? Are they going to believe me? Yes, we got you. That is one of the very first things we do. We talk about researching ballot access. So if you want to run for an office, there's a way to get on the ballot. In some states, you just have to fill out the paperwork and file a fee. Super easy. Some states, here in Illinois, for instance, you have to collect signatures on what are called petitions. So you have to get a certain number of voters from the district you're running in to sign a form that says, yes, I think you should be able to run. It's not a commitment to vote. It's just you can get on the ballot. Some states have a hybrid of those in other ways. So you need to research what the rules are around the office you want. We can help you find those rules. Of course, there is no central authority in all of this. Every state is different. Every county is different. It gets a little crazy and chaotic, but a little bit of research, you can figure out what the rules are and make a plan for that. I want to touch on that because there are deadlines to get on the ballot.
I was gonna say we got to get that. You got to do that fast. Do that sooner rather than
Yes.
later.
Yes. Depending on what state you're in, those deadlines may be coming up as soon as March. So if you are interested in running now, please start that research. Take a look at what the qualifiers are to get on the ballot and start planning accordingly. We can help you do that, right? Again, everything for free at traindems.org. You should start thinking about who that kitchen cabinet's going to be. Who are those trusted advisors for you out there? Those are 3 easy steps that you take when you start to run. We have 5 more. It's all about, we can figure out a general budget. We can figure out a vote goal. A vote goal is how many voters do you need to win your election? And I'm going to be, we are very honest up front and a little Machiavellian here, meaning we're a little bit ruthless. Okay. Your job is not to get every voter to like you. Your goal is to get more votes than your opposition so that you have a chance to wield power and represent our values and move our values forward in whatever legislative, executive body, governing position you hold. So from the time you announce until election night, you need to be ruthless in getting to that vote goal number. A small election, maybe you need 200 people. If you're running for Congress, it's tens of thousands. Whatever the number is, everything that you do with that limited amount of time needs to be focused on getting to that goal so that you win on election night. Because if you don't win on election night, I don't want to say that's the whole ball game. There is value in running
Mhm.
and not winning. That is totally okay because two three things. I will get on my high horse here. One, lots of candidates run, lose, and run again. Happens all the time. Happened to Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Uh, it did, right? Two, if we are going to build long-term power, we are not going to defeat MAGA and Trump in one election. We can win back the House. We maybe on a really good night take back the Senate. We can blue wave come across, and in this November of 2026, we still have a lot of work ahead of us. Building that power is going to take several elections, and the more people we have running, the better we're building that Democratic brand, the better we're building the infrastructure and the relationships so that the next time someone runs, they're not starting from scratch. They're building up. The other piece is we know that down ballot candidates increase Democratic performance by more than a point. So there's a lot of jargon in there. Let me tell you what I mean by that. So in North Carolina, the US Senate, the presidential races are razor thin, right? Razor thin. Traditionally, big campaigns spend a lot of money on media in the major metro areas. They're putting a ton of money on TV, sending out a lot of mail. They're not really investing out in the rural parts because there's not a lot of people out there, right? And they're very, very red. However, if you're running in a super red area, and whereas maybe last election, Democrats got 1,000 votes, and you run and you still don't win, but you got 1,200 votes, that's 200 more votes that also likely voted for the US Senate and
Mhm.
President of the United States. So that's an increase in Democratic turnout. That has real value, right? Then this is me, my personal passion. Next cycle, then great. You just turned out 1,200 people. We can help that infrastructure, that county party, who is hopefully continuing to communicate with those 1,200 people, so that the next time it's 1,400, and then it's 1,800, right? And we grow over time because we need to be thinking 5, 10 years out, not just what's happening this November. But I don't want to get us off track. Man, I've done a lot of talking. What questions are there? What questions do you have?
I'm looking at the chat, and there's some folks from North Carolina talking about how there's usually not any Democrat on their ballot at all for local
Right?
seats. Yeah.
Yes. So if that happens in your area, either please run and or recruit.
Yeah.
People need to be told that they should run for office. They want to hear that, right? Many times people don't even think, as are here tonight, right? The questions were like, oh, no, I'm not qualified. But if someone comes up and tells you, you should think about running, this is amazing, that's incredibly effective.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I push people so hard to get involved in, like, their local county, committee, like, Democratic committee,
Yes.
because the Democratic committee in your county is usually the one who's tapping talent to run for local office, so that's,
Yes.
like, where power building starts. They're hunting through your neighborhood, like, "Who around here would do this?" Yeah, North Carolina is very gerrymandered, that's true, that is true.
This is true. The only way to not the only way. One of the best ways to defeat gerrymandering is to make it impossible to gerrymander because there are so many Democrats in office, right? None of these solutions happen overnight. This is long term. We're battling for.
Yeah. And I know the chair of in North Carolina, the chair of the Democratic
Oh,
Party is focused on flipping the state Supreme Court seats over the
Yeah.
next few cycles.
Yeah.
Because if we have friendly judges on the state Supreme Court, then they can sue over the matter.
Yes.
So it's very
And
much a long game, but yeah. But hopefully,
Anderson is fantastic. She is the chair of North Carolina. She is amazing in her vision, and the fact that she's thinking that far ahead in multiple ways is great. It's what we need in our Democratic leaders.
this is a swerve a bit, but
Yeah,
what do you tell people who are like, I can't, I got small kids. Like
yeah,
it's just too, my
yeah.
kids are teenagers, so like if I had to go out every night and knock on doors, they
They'd be happy.
they'd come with me probably. But if they were 6, 7, 8, like still in elementary school, I'd be like, oh God, that sounds exhausting.
I'm avoiding the 6, 7.
Oh God, I'm sorry. It's just in there now. It's like in
It is.
there.
It is. It is. Yeah, look, that is a real legitimate concern, and that is a choice that you have to make. There are plenty of candidates who succeed with kids at home. The reality is not everybody has the resources and support system that allow them to run for office and raise their kids. I wish it wasn't so, but having kids is, it's a choice and a dedication and amazing. I love it. But it comes with trade-offs as well. So that doesn't mean maybe running for office is later in life for you. Maybe you can help recruit and grow the local organization right now. Ultimately, you have to decide what is right for you. We are happy to show you ways and strategies and solutions that can help in those cases. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision: is this something that I can do and want to do and is fulfilling for me? Yeah.
Oh, I think you froze.
Oh no. All right, I'm back. Um, yeah. At the end of the day, you have to make the decision ultimately for you.
Yeah. Do y'all have any questions you want to drop in the chat while we talk about running? Fleeing, running away. Um, oh, I was gonna ask what people are thinking about that. About the connections thing. Like, if you're
Yeah.
not in your local party and you don't know your party chair and all these power players or whatever, and you decide you want to run, do you need to go talk to those people or can you just
Yeah. Yeah. So, I am often asked, I'm thinking about running in the future. What can I do right now? And that is a fantastic, you are in a great place, an excellent opportunity because you can go start to build relationships without having to ask for anything in return,
yeah.
right? If you just, if you show up at the local environmentalist club or a labor hall or your Democratic Party meeting and announce I'm running, right? That is, I mean, look, if that's where it is and that's the time, then okay, you do that. In a more ideal manner, you go and you ask people's advice, right? We love it when people ask us for advice. Right? It makes us feel so good. Go and you ask people, hey, I was thinking about running. I know you're a leader here. What do you think about the race? What are the issues that are most important? Right. And you don't have to ask for anything in return right then. You can meet the local labor leader or head of the environmentalist group and say, what are the issues that are important? I'm thinking about this. Right. You may even be able to volunteer for other candidates who are on the ballot right now. Now you're getting to know their other volunteers. You're showing value to them so that when you run, you already have an existing relationship and you can come back and say, hey, thanks so much. I took your advice to heart. I've decided I'm going to run for the school board and I'd love to have your support. Right. So if and when you decide to run, yes, the thing I will say specifically is the question was, should I go talk to the local Democratic Party leaders? Yes. And you are on your own to run your race.
Mhm.
Right? The
You just
great
have to
quote,
pick candidates.
"No, it's shocking. I'm not a member of any organized party. I'm a Democrat." Right?
Right.
I mean, I really do wish the party was organized enough that, we could do these things. But No, you need to run your campaign yourself. And when you win, just be prepared. Uh, Everyone's going to tell you you're doing it wrong. And then when you win, everyone will say they were there from the start. And that's okay, right? That's just the way the world works. But you want to go and you want to ask for advice, and at the end of the day, you make decisions that are best for your campaign, and you rely on yourself and your team.
Um, there's a question in the chat about storytelling. I think
Yeah.
that they saw this on your website, understand the mobilizing power of
Oh,
storytelling.
love this.
Just talk more about that. What makes
Yes.
storytelling effective? How do candidates do that? Like, I feel like all politicians, when they try to tell their story, they say the same shit over and over, and it just starts to sound very buzzwordy. Um, so
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Look, let me so the way that humans communicate. Oh, I'm okay. Sorry. I'm gonna try not to go off on a huge a long thing on this, but I love this question. Thank you very much for asking it. We are humans and we relate to each other through stories. We understand and empathize through the stories other people tell us and their experiences. As Democrats, all too often our leaders and candidates talk about through common sense, statistics, logic about the reason why we should do things. And if common sense and logic ruled the world, it would be a very different place.
We would not be invading Greenland.
We would not be we would not be invading Greenland, right? The Republicans are incredibly effective because they use emotion. Now, the emotions they use, fear, hate, blame, divisiveness, are not the emotions that we should use, but we should learn from them to use emotion to tell stories, to motivate people to do what we need them to do to advance our values, to move the legislation, to win the election, whatever it is we need to do. I joke Democrats will bring white papers and statistics to a gunfight, right? It doesn't work. So you need to talk about if you want to talk about if you want to talk about climate change, let's do this differently. If we want to talk about affordability, we don't want to talk about inflation has risen 3% over the past 6 months. And the consumer price index says, like, you already zoned out. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. But you know what? If you go talking like, listen, I'm trying to feed my family and my grocery bill is $200. This is ridiculous. Right. Suddenly you can relate to that. Oh, I understand what it's like to go pay a ridiculous grocery bill and I'm not even buying things that I didn't buy before, right? You talk in ways that relate to people, they aren't jargony, right? Now, to your comment, Amanda, about they say the same things over and over again, there is some benefit to that. As a candidate, when you are sick and tired of hearing yourself say the same thing over and over again, you are finally doing it right. You are on message. And the reason for that is very simple and two to threefold. One, every time you talk to an audience or a group, it is new people. Just because you said it an hour ago at the previous event and 2 days ago and 3 days ago doesn't mean they have heard it. So don't get bored of your own message because people need and want to hear it. Two, when you hear one thing once, that doesn't sink into the human psyche. There is a reason why we see so many repeat commercials for Toyota on the television, right? There's a reason why whatever pick your social media tool of choice and you see the same ads over and over and over again on it. It's because repetition is the most effective way to get your message across. And so if you are the affordability candidate, if you are the pro-choice candidate, if you are whatever issue you need to be to win your election, you get so few chances to talk to people that when you do it, you want to use the most effective message. And that's the same one over and over again because people need to hear it 2, 3, 5 times before they're like, oh, yeah, they're going to lower my grocery bill. That's who I'm voting for. Right. Because again, We're all weird. We pay attention to politics. Most people don't.
Yeah. Well, I just have one more.
Yeah, go. Oh, I'm here all night. What do you got?
Um, what if you want to run in a place without real party support? Like I think about, I did an interview with a young woman who was running in the reddest district in Alabama, and there was
Yeah.
no one from the state party who wanted to
Yep.
talk to her. Waste of time, waste of money. But
Yeah.
at the same time, we don't want to leave any seat uncontested.
Yep.
So like convincing someone to run for a lost cause seems
Yep.
ridiculous, but also maybe it's not a lost cause because people feel like they don't have any options. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
what do I do?
First, let's level set the reality. In that question, running without party support, the assumption is that most people run with party support. In a vast majority of America, there is no party support to be given to candidates. We are a candidate driven ecosystem. So you are not alone. It is not unusual. It is, I would argue, in fact, more the norm than not, especially for local races. There are so many of them. State parties. Look, I'm a big party supporter. They are overworked and underfunded. They cannot possibly help every local race in the state. Um, this is why NDTC exists. We can literally help at scale for free. We're not taking any of your money. Yes, we're gonna use some of your time, but hopefully it's an effective use of your time to help you get more money, people, votes. Yeah,
All right. Well, that's all that I've got.
this is amazing. No, listen, you all, thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you to everyone who joined tonight. Amanda, thank you for having me. I would love to do this any point in time. I'm happy to answer any and all questions. You can follow us, Train Dems, on all the socials. I would say that keeping things actionable, which is I love that about your channel. I would love for people to tell us what's one thing you're going to do this week to help move you forward with your goals. I think we're going to drop in some resources if we haven't already to the chat. We've got a learning plan out there. We've got stuff for people who want to work on campaigns. I should also mention that if you come to us and you run or you want to work, we have a private Facebook group that provides support and community for people. So you are not alone. That is very, very helpful. And if you have questions, just ask us. That is literally our job.
And the courses are free, right? Somebody was asking.
Everything is free. Yes. The courses, the resources, downloads, the samples, everything is free for any Democrat.
All right. And this is going to go out to your inboxes after we get off. So if you want to come back and reference anything that we've talked about, you can do that.
Cool.
And that's it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you.
And good luck, everybody, in your future races.
In your future races. I can't wait to read in an article. Like, I started because of this Amanda Nelson
Oh my gosh, that would be
Substack.
like a dream for me if somebody like actually ran for office because of this. That would be so good. All right.
It
Have a
would be
great night,
amazing.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.